with the first flush of mushrooms harvested on January 24, 1984. This video will present the growing steps and the technology involved in all phases of production at the Dublin farm.
And from there, the compost after it's completed phase 2 is taken out the other end of the tunnels and spawn. Eventually everything keeps working its way up into the growing room. The other end of the tunnels where spawning takes place, this is the clean end of the tunnels. From here, the spawn run compost is then transported to the growing rooms. And this is the dip tank used for sanitation purposes. It's water with a little bit of formaldehyde or other disinfectant chemicals in to help ensure that we don't have any disease or spread of disease from the tunnels to the growing ends of the farm.
Now this building, Michael?
Right, this is the, you can see the growing rooms, they're all numbered. This is the 11 through 21 side of the farm. This is the area where the compost and casing are filled into the houses and where the production of the actual mushrooms take place. This is the other side of the production growing areas. We have houses 1 through 10 on this side of the farm. And also at the far end we have the packaging area. Each one of those houses, see, has double doors with 3 shelves behind each door for a total of 6 shelves in each production house. For a 7,900 square feet growing area within each room or house.
No, this is the main water supply,
That's
right?
the water tank for water storage for fire protection, and also one of our primary water sources, yeah.
And here is straight the packaging room, right?
Right, straight ahead there, that's the packaging area. The storage area and the vacuum cooler is housed in that building.
This is room 10 and this is room 10, right?
Right, we have 2 doors to each growing room. It makes it easier for filling and emptying. The various mechanical processes we have to do. The best proper composting. The composting more for slab area. You see the overhead sprinklers running, pre-wetting the material. What we're seeing now is the cottonseed hulls or cottonseed hull pile for outside storage. It's one of our raw ingredients, that and the wheat straw, or the primary ingredients in our compost formula here. Again, you can see the overhead sprinklers pre-wetting the various materials, both the hulls, the cottonseed hulls, and the wheat straw. This is the here. All the material is run through a compost turner before filling to get a uniform biological breakdown. Some water is added to help increase the bacteria and mold populations responsible for the breakdown. Again, you can see the machine running through the pile. And this is the pre-wet area. Again, you can see the sprinklers used to wet the material, which saves on man hours. Of course, we use lots of heavy equipment here, the front end loaders to move all the materials, and that's the cottonseed hulls being pre-wet.
Ed, this is Ed Domsky. He's the chief boss on the composting work. Ed, could you explain in a couple words now what we are doing?
Well, we're turning a wheat straw rick over here. This happens to be the final turn before fill. That rick will turn tomorrow, or will fill tomorrow. It's a wheat straw 107. On our left over here, these are hulls that we're just putting a little surface water on.
What term is this file and what term is the other file with the machine terms right now?
The one that the machine is in now, that's on last turn.
This is the last term.
Last turn, it will fill tomorrow. The pile where the backstop is there, and these piles over here, there's four ricks here. These were ricked yesterday.
Okay.
The dark pile that sticks out the farthest over there, that'll be turned. That goes with the pile that he's in now. That'll fill tomorrow. That'll be turned.
Ammonia conversion here at the Dublin farm is done in bulk. You see the compost, which is undergoing the biological breakdown at the wharf, is delivered to the compost hopper by a front end loader and is filled into the tunnels through another compost hopper and a set of conveyor belts. And within the tunnels then it'll be pasteurized and then allowed to undergo a period of ammonia conversion into proteins, so they have the proper nutrition required for a good heavy flush of mushrooms. You see the compost being delivered from the compost wharf and then filled into the tunnels where the environment is totally controlled to ensure proper pasteurization and ammonia conversion of the compost. Again, this is the phase 2 composting process of the
That's the brain of waste. So tell me, and maybe could you explain in few words what this is doing?
Yes, you can see all the temperatures, the air dampers, how they're working, and with steam and cooling. You can do everything to control the component inside the tunnel. And here you can watch the temperatures and all what you need to know for the tunnel.
You can really you can control all the environment inside the waste room.
Yeah, you can control everything. Temperatures, outside air, inside air, CO2, everything.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
The tunnel next door is being spawned. It's pulled out of the tunnel through the conveyors, or through the hopper, excuse me, and into the conveyor system. The spawn is already mixed into the compost at this point. The conveyors, which takes it up and into the tunnel on a moving conveyor belt in and out of the tunnel. You see there the compost coming out of the tunnel now, the hopper, and then up. This is the head-in spawning equipment, which moves in and out of the tunnel. You see the compost going back into the very front of the tunnel. Again, this is the spawning phase of the mushroom production cycle.
You can see the compost coming from the phase 2 tunnel into the spawning tunnel. That spawning tunnel, we can try to get about a 6.2 pounds per square foot dry weight with compost moisture of about 67-68%. This will ensure proper spawn growth, give us the material that we need then for filling into the houses.
That's the end of the tunnel, right?
Right, this is the end of the tunnel. So this is half. It takes approximately 30 minutes per half tunnel, 1 hour per tunnel. The equipment here, the machinery works quite well. It makes spawning a rather rapid process.
Hi, Peter. Good morning. Oh, nice you are here. Could you tell me now, we are here since 5 o'clock in the morning, and they filled the tunnel with cruise-bound compost. How you like the compost now? How it looks to you?
Pretty good. It's a little bit long, and maybe the stroke would have been a little bit more well done, but for the rest, it's reasonably good.
Filled into the houses. The compost is completely colonized with mushroom mycelium. You can see the compost coming out of the hopper used to remove the compost from the tunnel. The compost, after it leaves the hopper, is put into the conveyor belts. Here you can see the compost coming from the tunnel with the C7 supplement on the surface and the white mycelium in the compost. It comes through the hopper, out of the hopper, and into the conveyor belts. These belts, there you see it coming out of the hopper. These belts will take it up and into a wagon, which will then deliver the material to the growing house to be filled. And you can see it being transported to the wagon, with it being deposited in the wagon at the other end of the yard. There's nets in the bottom of the wagon which will pull the completely colonized compost in front of the wagon to be delivered into the filling machine for filling into the growing houses. This is the fully colonized spawn run compost. It goes onto this conveyor and into the filling machine, which will take it into the house then. Before going into the house, it receives a uniform layer of casing material, which is applied in the same machine. It's all rolled and compact and very even, making for uniform growth of mushrooms. Here you see a view of the entire filling machine, the conveyors and the operator there. Now you can see the the casing material coming in and the beater bars which level out the casing material, making a very uniform, compact, even layer of casing material. Again, the entire machine. There's the compost again coming into the hopper. Of course, the T-lot from Holland Machinery, and then the casing being applied, coming out of the front of the machine, going into the house. View of the house. You can see the shelves. We have 21 growing houses here at Dublin with 7,900 square feet per house. Each of the shelves has 6 benches and there are 4 sets of shelves per house. It takes us about 5 hours to fill an entire house.
Spawn grow compost.
Right, with the casing applied.
With the casing. The lower bed.
Right, the lower bench is being filled.
Very beautiful.
The winch system at the end of the bed pulls the complete spawn run cased compost material right through at a uniform rate, so you get a uniform casing application.
I could say only it's fantastic. That's the way to grow mushrooms.
Right.
You agree?
Oh yeah.
Very uniform. Very uniform layer, you know, it's like a cake. And Mike, this lay, of course, on this nylon net, right?
On the black nylon net, yeah. That's what's pulled through the house with the material on top of it.
And at the end of the crop, the machine will pull out this nylon net, right?
That's the same way the compost is removed.
Yes. Now we have here the casing coming on.
Right. That's the casing coming from the casing hopper.
Yes.
The feeder bars there knock it down smooth. So we have a uniform application.
And here on this end, we have the compost coming.
It was filled 8 days ago, and you can see the spawn or mycelium on the surface. This house will be deep scratched, which is basically a ruffling of the casing peat moss layer, and this helps to ensure evenness of growth until we get an even break of mushrooms, making mechanical harvesting possible. Now we're going to walk a few sections of the bed so you can get a better view of the growth of the mycelium on the surface of the casing after 8 days of growth. This house was filled on Monday, which makes today 8 days of growth since the house was filled. And you can see the white mycelium on the surface of the casing material. Is to ruffle the beds, and it helps ensure a uniform flush, which makes mechanical harvesting possible.
At the same time, I would like to introduce, this is Jack and John, both 2 Dutchmen responsible for our operation here in Dublin.
Right. The surface. That's what we want to ruffle up here, make sure that it's all even so we can mechanical harvest. Now you see all the feet on the bottom of their turning?
Yes.
That's what will actually do the scratching. They can adjust the depth. So it only scratches a couple first few centimeters, as you can see it doing. And then it comes along on the end, there's a bar that'll smooth it all out nice.
Very impressive.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. This way I turn, it's too tight.
Oh, okay, that's it. Right. Hold it. Hold it.
Railroad track here on the side.
Go quite fast.
Oh yeah.
Very fast.
Hallway or work area. On both sides of the hallway we have the growing rooms. We have a total of 21 growing rooms. You see the doors are numbered. In the hallway we store the blue trays with the 12 ounce, 16 ounce, and 8 ounce and 14 ounce baskets in. The control panels for each room are in the hallway. And sinks for the harvesters to wash their hands and clean up.
Mike, how about let's go in and see the harvesting, the second flush.
Yeah, one second.
Harvest or second break. You can see the picking lorries, different heights throughout the room.
Yes.
It makes it much easier to get the upper levels. It's safer for employees, they don't have to climb. And picking lorries go both vertical and horizontal throughout the room.
Right?
Right, this is the center ductwork. We also have a tube down both sides of the house. It makes for ideal air handling throughout the mushroom. The second breaks, that mushrooms that have been harvested, again, you can see them in the 8 ounce tray, nice white. Size is pretty good. Now you got to realize that these are the order breaks that we're picking off premature.
Very nice.
The majority of the harvest will come off by mechanical harvest tomorrow. We have to get in and prep the room, that is, cut the ends and harvest from the sides so we can mechanical harvest. That's what we're doing here today.
Those beds are very nice, right?
Oh yeah, a nice, even, good quality second flush mushroom. Tomorrow the mushrooms will be a little bigger and just prime.
The second flush qualities look very nice.
Oh yeah, this is the second break. Again, it's wall to wall. The bed's completely filled with the mushrooms. Nice and white.
Yeah.
Tomorrow these mushrooms will be size enough for mechanical harvest. To make it more comfortable, they usually sit down on a milk crate, pick the lower bench, and then stand to get the middle bench, and then from that point on we use the picking lorries to harvest the mushrooms. Again, you have to do the ends of the bench and the sides where the mechanical harvester won't get.
Those mushrooms are very nice.
May I ask you, how long you pick mushrooms?
For 3 weeks.
Or 3 weeks?
Yes.
And you like it?
I love it.
No, that's beautiful. Thank you.
That's the picking lorry. That's how we move back and forth in the room.
Yes.
Slide on the wheel.
Very nice quality.
Right, you see here we pick into mostly 8 ounce. Our sales for the southern market are mostly the 8 ounce
Yeah,
package.
very nice.
See, the mushrooms are all nice size,
Yeah.
nice white, smooth mushrooms.
Yeah, very nice, very
Quality. This view shows the picking lorries in operation. You can see that these are used to pick the mushrooms on the upper levels. It's a lot safer for the harvesters instead of climbing up and down the beds. The lorries move both up and down, vertical and horizontal, throughout the room.
Hi, Marit, I see that you instruct the girl, you know, how to pick mushrooms, right?
Not often. I show you first. Okay, just you. We start always just here in front. Take them away. So styles, for 2 styles are your border. You have to hang your leg after the style or just in front of the style. You should watch that always. Then we start just here in front. To pick the biggest ones. To send them out. Then we move to the middle. We have to pick each a half bar, so you have to pick the other half bar. So we take the big ones. Separate always mushrooms before you cut them. It's impossible to cut them even if you don't separate them. Such a stump also you can cut the roots off and put it in your soup tray. If you put it in the bucket we are losing weight. Also you have to start by your pink and go up, not the other way. If I start here, no roots are in my way. If you start here you have to move and move. Then you cannot even cut and all the roots off. In the first flush we always have clusters, but if we...
And she will be sorting by sizes also, right?
Yes, but I don't have that much sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Start just in front. Separate before you cut them. So you can cut them all even. Whenever we cut a wool cluster. We separate also the big ones. At the same time we turn them. And before we cut them we look to this underside of the mushrooms. If it is an almost open one or an open one. And we separate at the same time the bigger ones. We are picking and grading at the same time. Be quiet. It's going fine. Just upright in your hand. Cutting from your pink upstairs. That's okay. That's the first important thing for the first day. And be sure pick always the big ones, not the small ones. That one is tomorrow that size, and the day after tomorrow that size. I would like to have as much weight as possible. Separate first, and not above your boxes, above your bucket, that you're not throwing soil in the boxes. You have to keep it clean. And
very good.
if the head is coming off, it's all belonging in the soup, not in the bucket. It's going fine. For your first day, it's okay. Sure.
I'll get through that time, right?
The big ones, and always with the heads up wide. Then we have a nice looking product.
I understand we will now harvest mechanically. Could you say a few words about the harvesting, how long it takes, and about the quality?
When you see the quality of this room, it's about time that we harvest them. because it's already 4 hours too late.
Yes, but I think we have a very nice quality right now.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful mushrooms.
See, but before they are from the beds, it takes another 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
And but before you can harvest, you have to pick the edges,
Yes.
and the beds has to be very even. Otherwise, you have too many dirt, and then it takes one minute to do 1 tray, 2 minutes.
Yes, and what it takes most of the time is pick from the edges, right? And that's what you delay your mechanical harvesting.
Now it takes us 1 day, and it should be done in 4 hours.
Yeah, but when I am looking on the quality, you know, they're beautiful. You know, those mushrooms are just pretty.
Yeah, the quality is still okay, but
I think we have about, maybe after we harvest mechanically, what do you think, what percentage will be marketed, fresh marketed?
what percentage? Say 60?
About 60, I think the same. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Jack. So you could help us out a little bit when we will take this shot.
You can see it's pulled down the bed by the employees. There's an oscillating blade on the base of the harvester that cuts all the mushrooms off even. And then there's the paddle feet there, kick the mushrooms back onto the black nylon net. You can, it only takes about 1.5 minutes to cut the mushrooms per bench. And you can see there along the edges why it was important to first pick the edges by hand so the wheels of the machine will be drawn properly up the bench. Once they get all the bench cut, then the black nylon net that the mushrooms are deposited on is drawn from the house, and the mushrooms are taken from the house. Again, some more shots of the mushrooms before they're harvested, and the mechanical harvester. And there you can see the blade oscillating back and forth.
Beautiful quality, right?
Right, the quality there is quite nice, and the key to mechanical harvesting is having the nice uniform mushrooms all at the same age of maturity.
Here is the other side of
Right, this is the back side now. You can see the mushrooms are deposited onto the black nylon net there after harvesting. So there you can see the net, the machine, the mushrooms being deposited right onto the net. And then the net will be pulled and the mushrooms taken out into the hallway for sorting into grades, either soup or fresh pack.
This operation as the mushrooms are moving on the nylon net into the conveyor for sorting.
The mushrooms are harvested and cut down by the mechanical harvester. The black nylon net is pulled and the mushrooms are brought to the front of the house and are deposited on the conveyor belt, which takes them out into the hallway for sorting into soup grade and into package grade. And then you can see them come. Mushrooms come out of the house on the conveyors and into the hallway where they're sorted into either soup or else into quality grade for fresh pack. You see there are several harvesters line the sides of the conveyor belt. There's some of the mushrooms going down a conveyor. You can see we have to sort out the different quality grades. There we have several harvesters along the side that sort the mushrooms out as they come on the outside of the room now. The people picked out the little pieces of stump or ones that were open a little bit. See there, most of the mushrooms are good quality there. So you pick out the open ones, sort out the soup. Grabbing, you see mushrooms are deposited into the blue trays, which are then taken to the packaging plant where they're fresh packed or overwrapped and sent to the grocery store. And just come straight down the conveyor right into the container to go to the fresh market. There's no extra material handling or the mushrooms. They don't get bruised much either, even with a drop there. Our quality is still, we're quite proud of our quality. Yeah, that conveyor leads right back into the bed where the mushrooms were grown and harvested on. So the conveyor belt is, speed can be controlled here. We're moving quite rapidly. Most of these mushrooms were good quality and not much had to be sorted out as far as soup and stems or opens. But each of those full blue containers now will go directly to the packaging area where they'll be put into either 8-ounce, 12-ounce, or other package container and sent to the grocery stores. So in this manner we can harvest an entire room by all of our various machines, probably with about 10 people compared to a harvesting crew at 15 people for several days. And you see the mushrooms coming out and the harvester's sorting them out. Have to grab out the ones that were cut a little on the wrong side.
Oh, I tell you, I was here a month ago and nothing was there, really not much. It was a lot of construction going on. I came on Monday and I saw beautiful mushrooms and production and tremendous progress. How do you feel about it?
Well, we're progressing pretty much on our plan. If you take the first 2 weeks as a whole, I should imagine we're very, very close. Some of the construction that you've seen then is continuing, but that too is pretty much on schedule with perhaps the exception of some of the asphalt. We've had an awful lot of rain here in middle Georgia. And
yes, I know.
That's behind, but if weather continues to cooperate another 10 days, maybe the next time you come back you won't have to wash your car so often.
Oh, I prefer this rain and this nice weather now today, like the severe snow and what we got in the east, but I tell you, I was so excited to see those beautiful mushrooms coming out of the conveyor belt, the mechanical harvesting, just amazing.
The mechanical harvester is going along, I would just say, fair. Part of it is our attempt to time the harvest, and the other is that we occasionally get a little bit deep, we get a bit of dirt, and the same thing that would happen on any conveyor. If you get a little dirt, it gets over all the mushrooms. So we've got some work to do in that area, but I think that too is progressing at a satisfactory pace.
You have few minutes time, could you walk with me to the packaging room?
Sure.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Good.
I really like it.
Releases them from the tray. It's a lot faster than taking each 12-ounce tray or 8-ounce tray out by hand. See the jig, the blue tray is perforated in the bottom and it slides right down in. And then the mushrooms are pushed onto the conveyor belt. The mushrooms come up the conveyor. The ladies here take them and scale them. And these particular trays are 8 ounce, so we scale them to make sure they have 8 ounces of mushrooms in. There they're put on another line which takes them through the overwrap packaging machine. See the baskets with the load of mushrooms come from the harvesting houses. How they're unloaded from the jig, from the baskets with the jig, and onto the conveyor belt. The ladies take the trays. These are the 8-ounce mushroom packages going through the overwrap machine. The overwrap machine that applies the plastic over the mushroom container package. And then when they come out of the overwrap machine, the Campbell untitled label applies to the package. Finally, the mushroom package is boxed, ready to go to the customer. Here we can see the Campbell's Farm Fresh label being applied. The mushrooms come up, and the mushrooms are boxed and ready for distribution.
Now we came to the final product of our efforts we made to produce those beautiful, unbeatable quality mushrooms. This presentation wouldn't be accomplished without introducing the people that make our efforts and success possible. You know, I'm very impressed here. I am here the 3rd day, and the last time I was here about a month ago. It's a tremendous. Tell me, is this farm completed now, or what are really the plans?
The farm is completed, in fact, but is designed for the double production. Yes. So we can lower the cost enormously if we later on build the double amount.
We will expand.
Oh yeah, because a lot of things are already there. The compost lab, the electricity, the water, the knowledge is there, the people are here. So in fact we should, to lower the cost, we should enlarge it very soon.
I am very impressed, really. How many tunnels we have here?
Well, at the moment we have 10 tunnels, 3 filling this phase 1 compost and 2 times 3 for spawn run, because the spawn run, as you know, takes 2 weeks or 12 days. And if we build more tunnels, then we could do what, say, at the moment in Holland do, that, for instance, you bring the compost from 5 tunnels after weekly in 4 tunnels for spawn run. There's another saving.
You think that we could use some of the equipment for expansion too, right?
Oh yeah. Because now the machinery, as you see, we use it only for, let's say, 2 days, and the week has a couple of more days, so we can use it.
I was very impressed. I saw yesterday the quality of the mushrooms after they are on the nylon net, and picked them up for quality. They're beautiful. That sounds very nice. That should be. I am pleased to attend next month the school, and I am sure that the people that will attend the school will have the opportunity to see the production and the quality. They will be very impressed. What are your plans now to expand the school, or to how you feel? You know, I am sure that our growers could tremendously benefit from the school.
Yeah, you have seen Aron did is a modern farm with all kinds of, let's say, modern equipment. And in my opinion, if you look at this farm, mushroom growing is not longer a gamble, but really a knowledge.
Yes,
So
yes.
on such a farm, I suppose more and more there will be a need for well-trained people who can handle all that sophisticated equipment and machinery. So I think that if you like to survive in the mushroom business, then there are 2 main things, and that is following the most modern technology and using well-trained people, and try as much as possible to mechanize, because the main cost, as you know, is labor cost.
Yes, that's right.
And that is the reason, especially, that in my opinion, we should spend more and more attention to the mechanical harvesting, because in my opinion that's the key for low production cost.
That's right. You know, Peter, I saw in Holland those mushrooms harvested, and I compare here. Here we got a much better quality, much better quality.
That's so simple, Aron. In Holland, they developed first of all the mechanical harvesting for the mushrooms, so they export them to Germany for the gaming industry. But a mushroom, let's say, who is open on Thursday, is closed on Tuesday or Wednesday. So you can, it is not necessary to cut them open. You can cut them 1 day earlier or 2 days earlier. Of course, then the weight is less, but for that a better quality.
What you think, what you estimate that will be the mushroom for marketing? What percentage this way? I think that we got quite percentage for marketing.
Yeah, no. I suppose, Aron, they have to give us a couple of months more. I think we have to adapt a little bit our growing technique, and we like to exercise a little bit with spawn, because, as you know, they developed other strains, especially for mechanical harvesting, with somewhat longer stem and so on. So give us a couple of months more.
But the mushrooms are beautiful, very smooth.
Yeah.
Very smooth, very nice. I can tell you, it's just fantastic.
We are able to control the environment as good as possible. So I think that's one of the main things that you can produce for the mushrooms. And say hire a few there, so they have to do a good job, because if not, then you can work in Holland.
Sure, oh, definitely. Definitely, and it's so nice and clean here, just beautiful place.
Yeah, we are not where we should are, because you see a lot of mess, but okay, also can give us a couple of months.
Yes, yes.